Hello, all you beautiful people out there. I'm Tom.
And I'm Savannah. Come wake up with us this morning as we serve you the morning tea. If you're still joining us for the first time, the Morning Tea is a student-run show that takes an entertaining, modern, and real-world look at the world through the eyes of students like you.
Yeah, so make sure you follow us on our Instagram and our Facebook at The Morning TAU, and it is fabulous, so do check it out.
We've got some really cool videos up there right now.
Yeah, no, we definitely do. And today, we have some really cool videos for you as well. You want to tell us about that?
Always, yeah. Of course, we have the latest news this morning. We have a couple stories on some really cool hidden gems in the Trobe, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And, of course, a game at the end, so that'll be super fun.
Yep, the game today is going to be very exciting, guys. Just wait, it's sort of like The Voice. But right now we're going over to the news. So Shaz, can you please give us the fabulous news that you always do?
Oh,
Go
I
for
certainly
it.
will, Tom.
I'm so excited.
Well, it's going to be a lovely sunny day today, perhaps the last of the warmer days before the inevitable winter is coming. The temperature will be a low of 11 degrees and a maximum of 20. Now for an election update, Scott Morrison has been re-elected as the Prime Minister of Australia in a shock election victory for the Liberals. Although polls predicted a Labor win leading up to the election, the Liberals managed to swing votes at the nth minute in a surprise win for the Conservative Party. Opposition leader Bill Shorten stepped down as Labor leader shortly after the results confirmed a coalition win, and Jim Chalmers and more recently Chris Bowen are vying for the Labor leadership alongside Anthony Albanese. Bill Shorten and Julia Gillard vouched to back Labor Deputy Leader Tanya Plibersek to be elected as leader of the party, but Ms Plibersek decided not to take the plunge, citing family commitments. She has, however, secured a huge election victory in a Sydney electorate, winning almost 70% of the projected two-candidate preferred vote. As some have described as a slaughter, former Prime Minister Tony Abbott has lost his Sydney seat of Warringah to independent candidate Zali Steggall, ending his 25-year political career. Controversial MP Fraser Anning has also lost his seat, where Clive Palmer and Pauline Hanson haven't secured a seat in the House of Representatives. Late last night, the ABC's election computer has awarded Prime Minister Scott Morrison a majority government win of 76 seats. Former Prime Minister and Labor leader Bob Hawke has died at the age of 89. He died a peaceful death, according to his widow, Blanche Dalpuget, at his residence in Sydney last Thursday. The lawyer, Rhodes Scholar, larrikin and record-holding beer drinker, has always abhorred racism and bigotry, according to Dalpuget. The leaders of the Indigenous community paid tribute to Hawke for his commitment to Indigenous rights, wanting to bridge the gap between black and white Australia, despite failing to deliver on his promise. Labor's longest-serving Prime Minister is also fondly remembered for his signature achievements of introducing the Medicare healthcare system and modernising the Australian economy. He resigned from Parliament in February 1992. And United States President Donald Trump has drawn a parallel of Scott Morrison's shock election win to his own presidential victory and the United Kingdom's Brexit vote. Lightening the surprise on people's faces to his own win against Hillary Clinton, Mr. Trump also publicly praised Mr. Morrison on Twitter, congratulating him on a great win. While they share similar bonding by both being conservatives who won despite being written off and behind in the polls, the differences are apparent at the core. Trump's victory was dominated by issues like gender, sexuality, race or religion in the US, while the Australian election represented referendum on taxation, wealth redistribution and climate change. And in entertainment news, the highly anticipated finale of the entire Game of Thrones series aired on Monday Australian Eastern Standard Time. The television show, watched by millions spanning the globe, has been running for 8 years, but failed to deliver and has left a large majority of fans disappointed. Many echoed that the series felt rushed, so much that a group of fans consisting of over 1 million people signed a petition to remake the entire series. Some pointed out that there should have been better writers, while others felt the pressure of attempting to encapsulate the 8 years of harrowing drama into one final episode may have just been too much to convey. Game of Thrones has always been as maddening as it's indulging, despite the somewhat lackluster final season. And that's all for the news today, guys.
Great, thank you very much, Des.
Not a worry.
That was really good. So, election has happened this week.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about it?
Mixed feelings. So, well, you know, a bit disappointed.
I'm disappointed, but I'm not surprised.
Did you guys go and vote?
Yes, we had to.
Yeah, of course.
Well,
Nice.
you know,
Yeah.
the fine. And that's the thing, yeah,
Yeah.
I think that's
It's
another
$20,
driver.
yeah.
But still, you know, all that's on.
No, you should vote anyway.
Yeah.
But like people are saying they're surprised about the election. I'm not surprised.
I think a lot of people not surprised, but disappointed.
Oh, disappointed for
Yeah.
sure. But like, what's the shock really? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
the election's about wealth distribution and climate change. Who are like the most wealth? Like people that are wealthy have the
Yeah,
most power. People
exactly.
that don't care about like, climate change, the people that have the most power.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, especially in the media.
It's really cool though that climate change is actually such a big issue here. Like I feel like Australia in general has, in my opinion and my experience, has been very like a lot more like environmentally focused than I'm used to back in the States. And I feel like we haven't even really been able to push climate change really to a hot topic issue yet.
I don't think we're environmentally focused. We have a prime minister who's holding up a piece of coal inside
Yeah,
of the
Donny,
House of
yeah.
Representatives. You know what I mean? Like most of the people that are voting work in coal mines and work with coal. So I don't
So the
I
money
don't even blame the
makes, yeah.
government. I don't even blame the Liberals. They're just doing what, to be honest, the majority of Australians
Yeah.
want. So
That's
I mean,
what it is.
I just probably don't like Australians as much. But anyway.
But at least, you know, the younger generation, they are obviously, you know, stepping up. And that's why we saw rallies and things like that. They made the news and, you know, school kids were literally leaving classes on Fridays, I think, and they went out to rally. And
Really?
at least, this was literally, months ago? So I think this sort of came on the back of Greta Thunberg, I think,
Yeah.
from Sweden. Yeah, so she started it and then
Oh, I
kind
saw
of,
that,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So it kind of continued on here. And, it was like schools and Scott Morrison famously, I think, mentioned something about, you know, kids should stay in school and, you know, that real
That's
sort of
great.
conservative naturally.
I never
that he
protested
drew.
when I was that young. Like I never.
Have you noticed kids these days? I swear, I am so, like, in so much admiration of them. Like, they
Yeah.
just step up and compared to, obviously, back in high school when I was, I mean, you couldn't care less, but people,
The
they're
world's a different
so
place, though.
aware.
The world was
It
so
is.
different. It was
Technology,
war in Iraq,
yeah.
and it was sort of everyone was a bit silly on that one anyway.
Yeah. And also the lack of technology now. Everyone knows everything, so
Yeah, of course.
go.
Even kids can just find anything out they really need to.
true story.
Yeah, definitely.
So did you guys watch Game of Thrones?
Game of Thrones? I did, but that's coming later, Shaz. We'll talk about that
certainly
soon.
Yeah,
is.
we have
a
Yes,
good
story about
yes,
that later.
I
Yeah.
know. Yes, I can't wait actually because I heard that they did a great job with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's
gonna
going to
be
be very,
great.
very fun. But now we're actually going into a little video that some of the girls have made about the facilities here at La Trobe. So let's go into that.
Lecture theatres, classrooms, libraries, and labs. You may think that this is all universities are. But here at La Trobe, students have access to state-of-the-art facilities that most students wouldn't even know existed. Here, students can perform, produce, edit, and publish their work. They have an opportunity to create real-life, hands-on experience, making them job-ready. Media, theatre and film students are lucky to have a great team at the La Trobe Technical Services who are happy to help, and they're always on call whenever you need them.
So we don't actually do any teaching, it's more just helping students and staff with things that should work the way that they should. So that's what we do. We have, I guess, experts in the TV studio, people who have more experience in the field in like camera operation and editing, graphic design, producing. So like all those people can support those kind of technologies dependent on the class's demands.
You can hire a TV or a sound studio, editing suites or a media hub with high-end equipment that will take your project to the next level.
So we really encourage everyone to go out and make their own stuff. So make your own film, make your own TV show, make your own everything.
If you have an amazing idea of a show, podcast, or even a film, and would like to put it out there but don't quite know where to start, Tech Services team will guide you from start to finish and suggest the best equipment for your project. If you need to get in touch with Trobe Technical Services, please message them through their Facebook page. Yulia Fakina for the morning tea.
Oh, that was awesome.
Fantastic, yeah.
Honestly, like, the tech services is one of my favorite parts of La Trobe. That's honestly, I think, the thing I was most impressed with about this campus is just how much tech we are offered as students. Like, it's crazy.
It is my only part of La Trobe. I think I'm here every day.
Right?
Literally. I feel like I'm a part of the family or something, doing that kind of thing.
Right.
So who can, although I don't actually know, because I just come along, but who can actually use the facilities? Can anyone...
So,
like any student or any person or what?
I think it is mainly just students, if you're involved in a class that uses some of those equipment, like the cameras and all of that stuff, like the relevant classes you take, you can go in there. As long as you kind of have an introduction to the equipment, you can go in there and start using it. But I think once you go in there and start using it and you become comfortable with it, you can actually use it for your own projects.
Yeah. Well, I actually do that.
Nice.
Yeah,
cool.
You can get some really awesome equipment. I think the C100 cameras are like, what, $7,000?
They're so cool.
Yeah, I've been secretly planning to steal one of them when I graduate. So.
Nice. You probably shouldn't say that on camera, but
You're
caught. Busted.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of things people don't know as well. I didn't know for like 2 years living here, going to university here, that you could actually use like sound studios.
Yeah, we visited the podcasting studio, the sound studio. Like, I had no idea that stuff is there, and you can just like go and like request to use it, and like they're so helpful. Like, they will literally teach you how to do everything. They'll walk you through the whole process, and they're so happy to do so. Yeah,
Marg is actually really helpful with sound. Actually, you can learn so much. You actually forget because like I feel like it's a lost gem of literature.
Yeah, I know. I feel like I'm literally like not using everything to the most of my ability, and I'm literally there editing all the time.
Literally, I feel like I've been discovering things still. Like the other day I discovered that we have like special extra lights that I never knew that you don't use for any other subject, that just apparently you're in anyway. You just got to be really, looking for it.
It's such a cool thing that La Trobe offers that even my school at home doesn't offer.
People don't know. People don't know. They need to find out though.
Go check it out.
Yeah, it's cool. But now we get to talk about Game of Thrones.
Spoiler alerts.
Yeah.
Be aware.
Yeah, spoiler alerts. So we're going to go into a little video about that. Go for it.
I'm Clodie. And I'm Bridget, and we're about to watch the last episode of Game of Thrones. Ever. And I'm excited. Me too. Yeah. I can't wait. Let's do this.
These nobles who argue they were evil.
What does that mean?
Don't know.
You are my
In case you hadn't heard, Game of Thrones ended on Monday.
Aww.
Forever. That's it. No more episodes. This is... And this is... Otherwise known as the most hated writers of the year. Fans of the series have taken to online petitions in hope of a better ending to their beloved characters who they've grown with for 10 years. Various interviews of the Season 8 cast members can be found online, and it's clear that they weren't impressed with the finale of the series either.
Season finale of Game of Thrones in one word. How would you describe it?
disappointing.
And are you happy with how things ended? Yes. She didn't say yes. You didn't say yes. Best season ever.
So, what are your thoughts?
I guess it wasn't as bad as I expected it to be. I had been pretty disappointed by the other episodes. There was no really any logic in... Yeah. It was too rushed and stuff. So, but there was a lot of surprises in this one.
Yeah, we were still like shocked. I was expecting to not be surprised at all.
So here's what happened in the last ep. I'm sure if you're a true fan, you've seen it by now. But basically, we waited 8 seasons to see the ruler of the 7 kingdoms, Cersei, die from being hit by some stones.
And I intend to stay amongst the living.
Their faces look fine. Considering they
unrealistic.
they took a ceiling on the face, they look okay.
There's some pretty damn cinematic shots of Danny.
Oh, that looks cool.
John stuck true to his favourite line of the season.
You are my queen. I don't know what else I can say.
And that's about all he did. Oh wait, he stabbed Danny halfway through a hot and steamy pash.
Did he stab her?
And was reunited with his one true love, Tormund. Oh, and Ghost is back.
Ghost!
And got the hug that he deserved. So Bran, who did nothing the last 2 seasons, became the king. Go figure.
First of his name, King of the Andals and the
Brad the Broken. What a nickname.
And Arya, the legend that she is off to become the new Dora the Explorer.
Swipe or no swiping.
So thank you, Game of Thrones, for the last 10 years. And even though you've ended, your memes shall live on forever.
Oh my god.
Okay. Game
Initial
of
thoughts.
Thrones. It's done.
It is done.
Yeah. What do you think? You saw it. Okay, so just to catch you guys up, she never watched any of it. She didn't watch any Game of Thrones, and she gets to the last season, and now she thinks that she loves it.
Yeah, I've only been watching the last season, but I think it's given me some clarity in the situation too, so I'm gonna give my take. So honestly, from the very beginning, my thoughts were Daenerys is gonna die, Bran's gonna be king. Those are my two, I called it.
Did you know that?
Yeah, well, I feel like the foreshadowing just kind of
Yeah, I mean, it's very clear.
So in my opinion, not having seen any of the rest of it, I thought it was a little predictable.
It's very predictable. That's cool. So you never even watched any of the whole series and you thought that?
Yeah.
No,
Those were my 2 predictions. So I literally was going into the finale. I was like, Daenerys is going to die somehow, and Bran's going to be king.
Yeah.
Because he was kind of off in the background.
Bran with the king thing, I was like, I didn't quite know what was going to happen.
I could tell he was a really important character, but I feel like they purposely kind of didn't touch on him too much. So I was like, something important's going to happen with him in the end.
They didn't touch on him.
Exactly.
So how come he comes in the end?
I feel like it was supposed to be kind of a surprise, but
I wish they just used him a bit more. You know what I mean? I wish they had a part where he used his walking a little bit, just not even if it meant anything, just to use it in some of the episodes, just to even open the episode.
Yeah, there were a couple episodes he wasn't even in. He didn't even say anything.
Yeah, and now he's the king at the end. But I do have to say, you know what was most predictable?
What?
Was just that shot, that kissing Shakespeare shot where it's kiss and then stab.
Yeah,
and then
I did not expect that. I thought it was so cheesy.
It was
so
the
whole
cheesy.
time it's you're my queen, I love you.
Yeah, you know the scene where she's ha.
I just can't believe he killed her.
I knew that was gonna come. That was
I knew she was gonna die somehow, but I did not think he was gonna be the one to do it. I feel like he could have gone about that a lot of different ways.
He probably could have.
Put her away,
I
or
didn't get why
something.
the dragons didn't burn him as well. It was sort of convenient. Why didn't they have him just stand in front of the throne and then he gets burnt by the dragon? He wouldn't have died because he's Targaryen. It would just seem stupid. That dragon is smart sometimes and then they're just dumb the other. Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh, I swear, that thing, you have to watch the other seasons.
I know. I think I'm going to go back and watch it now because there's a lot of things that were very ironic in the end, but that's all the time we have time for to talk about Game of Thrones, unfortunately. But now we're going to go into our favorite part of the show, sport.
Welcome everybody back to the studio and welcome to you, Matt. Give us the sport, please. I am ready. My body is ready.
Thank you very much. Let's start with the AFL, where Geelong are still 4 points clear at the top after the convincing win over the Doggies on Saturday. Richmond comfortably overcame Hawks at the MCG despite their ever-growing injury list, while Brisbane are up to 4th after a thrilling 1-point victory against Adelaide at the Gabba. The loss dropped the Crows to 4 points down the ladder to 7th, while GWS are 3rd after picking up a massive 93-point win over Carlton on Sunday. Round 10 starts on Friday night when Sydney hosts Collingwood at the SCG. To soccer now, and Sydney FC are champions of the A-League after winning Sunday night's grand final on a penalty shootout. The win is Sydney's 4th championship and their 2nd in 3 years, while in England, Manchester City have dominated the FA Cup final with a 6-0 victory over Watford. They've cemented their place in history as the first ever English club to secure the domestic treble. Back home now to the NRL, and the Roosters have slipped to 3rd on the table after a loss to the Broncos. Sydney's defeat was compounded by the announcement that star player Cooper Cronk will be retiring at the end of the season. Cooper Cronk's old club, Melbourne Storm, are back in second after narrowly overcoming the Tigers, and the round also saw a big win for Newcastle over St George. In tennis, Rafael Nadal has taken out the men's singles title at the Italian Open. The Spaniard has now won at least one tournament every year for the last 16 years, a new world record. Aussie star Ash Barty is now ranked world number 8 after winning the women's doubles final alongside Victoria Azarenka. The French Open starting next week is the second Grand Slam tournament of the year, and qualifiers are already underway at Roland Garros. And to MotoGP, Spanish ace Marc Marquez has extended his championship lead after winning Sunday's French Grand Prix at Le Mans. Aussie rider Jack Miller challenged in the early stages before finishing 4th. And guys, I just wanted to give a shout out to a racing driver by the name of Billy Monger. He's a 20-year-old kid from the UK. He lost both of his legs in an accident 2 years ago, but he came back to racing, and just over the weekend at the Power Grand Prix, he won his first race. So big congrats to Billy Monger for that.
What?
Oh my gosh, how do you not have some kind of PTSD after that? Like losing both your legs to driving and coming back and doing it again? And not only that, but winning. That's crazy.
Well, driving is the only thing he knows, because he's been doing it since he's a really young kid, and he loves driving. And I've watched interviews with where they've talked to him about it, and he said, look, I just want to get back in the car and drive. It's the only thing I want to focus on at the moment, because what was the only thing he knew, and he still had so much of his life to give, so he figured, may as well give it a try.
Might
It's
as well.
his dream, of course. I wouldn't give up
He's
my
so
dream.
young and already so good at it.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, nothing but death would stop me from having my dream. I know, that's awesome though. What a great dude.
A lot of racing drivers are like that. They're so into their racing, They're
Really?
Well, a big part of racing.
Is that a big community of racers, like they don't do it for the sport, they do it really for the love or something?
Yeah, pretty much. They just love getting in the car and driving, and they have to shut the fear of death out, because if you get scared, you can't be competitive.
Yeah, if you get scared, you're probably more likely to crash.
I'd say so, because you're overthinking things and you're going to worry about things and crash. Where if you just focus on the driving, then you can get the job done.
There was actually a car crash on the way to uni today.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
I saw it next to me. I nearly crashed as well. Actually, it was horrible. It was really, really strange. The sun was in my eyes anyway. But yeah.
I'm glad you didn't crash.
Yeah, no, it was very, very, very horrible. But yeah.
Well, thank you so much for the sport this week. Really, really enjoyed it. But
Anytime.
next, we have our wonderful Becky to tell us what's on in Melbourne this week.
Tomorrow is the opening night of Our Bodies, Our Voices, Our Marks at the Immigration Museum. It is a group of exhibitions exploring the art of tattoo, identity, self-expression, culture and community. The exhibitions include Documenting the Body, which is about local and contemporary perspectives on tattooing. Perseverance, Japanese tattoo tradition in a modern world, which includes interactive elements and life-size photographs of full-body tattoos. And Tatau, Marks of Polynesia, showcasing Samoan tattoos. The Immigration Museum is on Flinders Street, and tickets are included in the museum entry. Now, people, go out and have some fun.
Cool.
How do you feel? Oh, first of all, we have our wonderful Bridget here with us today to talk about what's on with us. But yeah, how do you guys feel about tattoos?
See, I really want one. Like, I
really
keen
Where?
to get one.
Tramp stamp?
No, on my foot.
That's not you?
Not yet. But I'd really like one.
Yeah.
Just wait. Sorry.
Oh no!
This might come in handy. I don't know.
Yeah,
It might come in handy. I'd love a tattoo on my foot that says May for all the women in my family.
Oh, that's
really
cool.
Cute. Yeah.
I love that.
May?
Yes.
Is
That's
that
the middle name of both my grandmas, my middle name, my sisters. Yeah,
that's
really
cute.
I love that. At least you have something that is really personal. Like personally, I don't know if I would ever get a tattoo.
I know I get.
Don't think there's anything that's so important to me that I want to write it on my body for the rest of my life.
Yeah, true. I do.
Really?
I'd get a giant dragon eating a butterfly on my chest, and the butterfly is on my nipples.
Nice.
Meaningful.
Yeah, very meaningful. It's
symbolic.
I mean, just get it right. You look at me,
Obviously.
Just get it.
Obviously. Well, I am here for a reason, and I would love to play The Voice with you. So have you guys seen the show The Voice?
Yes. Actually, after American Idol stopped for a little while, we got really into The Voice.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well. So, The Voice has Delta, Guy, Kelly, and Boy George.
Yeah.
Have you got a favourite?
Not Delta.
Not Delta?
No, God.
Adopt a personality right now. You can be any of them. Who do you want to be?
Boy George.
Boy George, I can pick that.
I don't think I know any of those people.
Kelly Rowland, of Destiny's Child.
Oh no, I'll
You
be
can
Kelly
pick
Rowland.
it.
I'll be Kelly Rowland.
Stolen.
Yeah.
You're just everybody.
Anyway,
we have
yeah.
different judges back home, but
Yeah, true. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna play a few different sound clips, and you're gonna have to guess who is that voice.
Cool.
So we'll get straight into it. So let's play our first clip. You can guess who that is.
But I do nothing every day.
What?
Can you hear that?
People say nothing is
Any guess?
impossible. But I
Ah.
do nothing every day.
I know this voice. I know this voice.
Do you want to play it again?
yeah.
People say nothing is impossible.
Oh, wait, Winnie the Pooh?
Yes, it's
Ah.
Winnie the Pooh.
I got this one.
I thought it was like some other Disney thing.
No, so I just watched Winnie the Pooh.
You are-
with Christopher Robin, the new Winnie the Pooh, the other day, and I loved
Did you like it?
Loved it. Like, Winnie the
I heard
Pooh is
mixed
the
reviews about
wisest
it.
person ever.
Really?
Yeah.
Like, one of my favourite quotes, I've written it down. Some people care too much. I think it's called love. It just makes me want to cry. Like, it's so
I feel
true.
like that was like half people's like senior quote in
Yeah.
a yearbook in high school.
Well, I love the one where he says, people say nothing is impossible, but I do nothing all the time. Love that one too.
Relatable.
Okay, we'll move on to the next one. So have a listen.
Okay.
The best thing that has ever happened to me. Second
Any
only to
guess?
this star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yeah, it's Ryan Reynolds.
Oh, easy.
But okay, yeah.
So that was Ryan
Yeah.
at when he got his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
How do you know these things?
It's Ryan Reynolds. It's his voice.
And it was like I find him so hilarious. But
Yeah, he's pretty sexy.
Yeah. Oh, he's sexiest man.
Oh my God.
In 2016 or something.
Really?
Oh, I did not know that.
Yeah, he named it.
Sexy. He's
Yeah.
pretty sexy.
He's pretty sexy.
You do.
Christian.
We'll move straight on to the next one.
Okay.
Surely you can get this one.
All right, I'm sure.
Idea. Oh, that sounds good.
Actually,
where
I
specifically
don't
in
know
the
if the
specific
battle
were you going to go?
What? Sounds very Australian.
One more time. What is it?
We had the specific cruise idea.
Oh, it's Captain Kim, yeah.
Who is it?
Where specifically in the
That's not
specific
Cap
were you going to go?
Oh, I don't know the other person.
Shazza!
Shazza, yeah.
Sharon. So
Who are these people?
Oh my
Oh,
God.
Sharon.
You gotta. We have to
Stevie's
introduce you to the way of life of the Australians.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So
I don't have much time left.
No, you don't. We'll have a Cap and Kim marathon. They're probably like the most Aussie show almost ever.
Yeah, you're gonna probably hate it, but
Yeah. But it is classic TV, and Sharon is known to be the ditzy best friend that just turns up, always in a netball uniform, usually with a pash rash. She's very quirky. She's
We love
very
those.
cute. Oh, she's so cute. Alright, and our next one, have a listen.
Realized that I'm probably just perfect and it's everybody else around me that's got issues.
oh, it's Kardashian, but it's
But it is.
it is. I don't know his name because I don't watch the show.
Rob?
No, not Rob. He is
Just
one
trying
of
to
the
name
The
male
stuck-up annoying
Kardashians.
one.
No, he's not annoying. He's probably my favourite out of all the
They're all
Kardashians.
stuck-up
It is
and
Scott
annoying.
Disick.
So
So he is Kourtney Kardashian's baby daddy.
Yeah, that guy, the fucking
Yeah,
stuck-up
yeah.
annoying one. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but he is the funniest guy, I reckon.
Didn't he sleep with that other girl, the roommate?
No. That's Tristan.
Yeah, get it
this guy.
right. Do you
He's
even
with
know your
Sophia
Kardashians?
I
Richie.
don't, so I don't care.
Nah, he's cute. I like him.
Okay.
Okay, this is my favourite one. So if you don't get this one, then I'll be very upset. So
Okay.
play it through.
Please stop clapping.
What?
Is that Yulia?
Yes.
Nice.
Play it again. This is fun.
Tom, please stop clapping.
She got you.
Yeah, true. I thought that was actually happening. I was like, I didn't clap, did I?
Yeah, Tom claps all the time on our mics and messes up our sound, so we hear that a lot.
Yeah.
It's just a running joke.
Yeah.
Sorry to pick on you.
That's so funny.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
We love Yulia.
Well, thanks so much for playing with me today. Have a nice.
Fabulous. Well, thank you all for watching this week.
Yeah, it looks like we're out of tea for the day.
Yeah, that's all we've got. But next week is our last week, actually. So,
I'm so sad.
yeah, this is our second last one. So make sure you tune in next week. We're gonna try and make it real special and like have a lot of fun.
But make sure to follow us on all our social media. We actually have our own personal YouTube page now. So if you find The Morning Tea on YouTube, you can go in and see all of our past episodes and even some individual stories here and there that we've done if you want to rewatch those, because some of those have been really cool so far.
Yeah, damn straight. So I guess we'll say goodbye to everyone.
Oh, I'm so sad. Bye, guys.